The conference chamber aboard the neutral station Concordia had witnessed 5 centuries of careful diplomacy. Representatives from 100 worlds gathered in its crystalline halls, where the Treaty of Eternal Peace had transformed humanity from warriors into architects of civilization. Ava Winters, the decorated general who had negotiated 17 border disputes without firing a single shot, stood at the podium with her usual composed grace. "The demilitarized zones have held," Eva said, her voice carrying across the assembled delegates. "Humanity proposes expanding agricultural cooperation with the Vraxian Collective." The plasma bolt struck her square in the chest. Ava's body crumpled to the floor as chaos erupted. The shot had come from the Galactic Empire's delegation, from Ambassador Krethzar himself, his weapon still smoking in his taloned hand. Security drones converged instantly, but the damage was done. The woman who had become the symbol of human restraint lay motionless on the polished floor. Oliver Kane watched from Earth's Strategic Command Center as the live feed showed medics rushing to Ava's side. His hands gripped the edge of the console until his knuckles turned white. Oliver had served under Eva for 20 years, had seen her turn humanity's greatest weakness, their emotional volatility, into their greatest diplomatic strength. She understood both the art of war and the harder part of peace. "General Kane," a junior officer's voice trembled. "The Empire is claiming it was a malfunction. They're requesting we honor the treaty protocols and submit to arbitration." Oliver's jaw clenched. Through the viewport, Earth hung peaceful and green, rebuilt from the ashes of the wars that had preceded the treaty. 50 billion souls who had known nothing but prosperity for generations. The peace Ava had protected with words instead of weapons. "Sir?" The officer pressed. Oliver turned slowly. His eyes held something the Galactic Empire had not seen in human faces for 500 years, the cold calculation of a species remembering what it had chosen to forget. "Send a message to all human colonies," Oliver said quietly. "Code Prometheus." The officer paled. "Sir, that's the war mobilization protocol. If we activate that..." "The treaty died with Eva," Oliver interrupted. "They just don't know it yet." Across the galaxy, humanity stirred. The species that had agreed to limit their military to defensive forces, that had redirected their industrial might toward art and science, that had chosen diplomacy over destruction, they remembered. In the archives, dusty and untouched for generations, the old knowledge waited. The weapons schematics, the tactical doctrines, the strategic philosophy that had made humanity the most feared warriors the galaxy had ever known. The Galactic Empire had grown complacent. 5 centuries of peace had made them forget why that peace had been necessary in the first place. They had forgotten that humans hadn't lost the war. They had simply agreed to stop fighting. There was a difference, and it was about to become catastrophically clear. Oliver stood in the war room that had been preserved as a museum, now hastily reactivated. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing the positions of human colonies and Empire forces. Admiral Chun materialized as a hologram, her expression grim. "The fleet can be ready in 72 hours, she reported. "We've been running the old training simulations in secret. Just in case." "Just in case," Oliver echoed. Ava had authorized those simulations, he realized. She had hoped for peace, but prepared for this moment. "What's Ava's status?" "Stable, but critical. The shot was meant to kill." They wanted to send a message. "They sent one," Oliver said. "Just not the one they intended." The Empire's response came within hours. Krethzar appeared on galactic broadcasts, his reptilian features arranged in what passed for remorse among his species. "A tragic accident," he called it. "The weapon malfunctioned. We offer compensation within the treaty." Framework. Oliver's response was broadcast across every human colony and to every alien world. "You?" "Shot the woman who spent her life keeping us from your throats," he said, standing in full military dress for the first time in decades. Eva Winters was the dam holding back 500 years of withheld fury. You didn't kill her, she'll survive. But you killed the peace she built. He paused, letting his words sink in. Humanity granted you 5 centuries of mercy. You mistook it for weakness. That mercy is now rescinded. You have 96 hours to withdraw from all disputed territories and surrender Kreutzer for trial. After that, we remind you why you begged for peace in the first place. The Empire laughed. Their fleets outnumbered humanity's defensive forces 10-1. They had grown fat and slow with conquest, while humans played farmer and artist. They didn't understand. Humans hadn't been playing. They had been waiting. When the 96 hours expired, humanity moved with the precision of a species that had spent 5 centuries, converting war into an art form they simply chose not to practice. The Empire's fleets found themselves facing an enemy that thought 3-dimensionally, in spaces they still considered 2-dimensional. Human ships appeared from quantum slip spaces the Empire hadn't known existed. Weapons utilizing principles of physics the Empire had declared impossible tore through their supposedly impenetrable shields. It wasn't a war. It was a reminder. Oliver stood beside Ava's hospital bed 3 weeks later. She was awake now, weak but alive. Outside the window, Empire ambassadors waited to sign the new treaty. This one wouldn't last 500 years. This one would be permanent, enforced not by human goodwill, but by human capability. Did we go too far? Eva asked, her voice hoarse. Oliver thought of the Empire's fleets in ruins, of their colonies surrendered, of Kreutzer awaiting trial. He thought of humanity's restraint finally given teeth. "No," he said simply. "We went exactly far enough. They'll never forget again." Eva closed her eyes, a small smile on her lips. The General of Peace had become the herald of humanity's return. Not through her death, but through her survival. A reminder that mercy was a choice, not a weakness. The galaxy had learned its lesson. Humanity was back.